Tap into the Ross Cloud podcast. We'll be with you guys in just a moment. We have our special guest with us, Reflexologist Nancy Grace. Tap in and tune in to the Ross Cloud podcast. tap into the Ross Cloud podcast, where we have our very, very, very special guest with us, Miss Nancy Grace, who is a reflexologist. Tap in. It's all about health and wellness. Tap in to the Ross Cloud podcast. We'll be with you folks in just a moment. Tap into the Ross Cloud podcast. We'll be with you guys in just a moment. We have our special guest, Miss Nancy Grace, who is a reflexologist. We'll be right with you in just a moment. Tap health and wellness here on the Ross Cloud podcast. We'll be with you in just a moment. Tap into the Ross Cloud podcast. We'll be with you folks in just a moment. It's all about health and wellness here at the Ross Cloud podcast. We have our special guest, Miss Nancy Grace, who is a reflexologist. We'll be with you guys in just a moment. Tap in to the Ross Cloud podcast. Tap into the Ross Cloud podcast. We'll be with you folks in just a moment. It's all about health and wellness here at the Ross Cloud podcast. We have our special guest, Miss Nancy Grace, who's a reflexologist. We're with you folks in just a moment. You don't want to miss it. Tap in to the Ross Cloud podcast. Tap into the Ross Cloud podcast. We're with you folks in just a moment. It's all about health and wellness here at the Ross Cloud podcast with our special guest, Miss Nancy Grace, who is a certified reflexologist. And we'll be with you folks in just a moment. You don't want to miss it. Tap in to the Ross Cloud podcast. Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud podcast. I'm your host, Carl Ross Sr. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud podcast. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon. We sure are. Listen, we have a very, very special guest with us. As I stated before, it's all about health and wellness here at the Ross Cloud podcast. And we're super elated and very proud of our stance on health and wellness. And so we have our special guest with us here on today. We have Miss Nancy Grace, who is a certified reflexologist, where she is the owner of the waiting on my media guy, who is the owner of Sacred Space Reflexology, located right here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Was located right here in the Guilford building. We'll give you more details as the show goes on. Hello, Nancy. How are you?
I'm great. And I want to take this time to say thank you for having me here and to share my experiences as a certified reflexologist
here
in Greensboro.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is such a needed conversation. My first experience that I had with you, and I'll talk about my experience right now. I had my experience here with Nancy, I think a couple of days ago. Was it, Nancy?
It was Thursday.
Yeah, it was Thursday. I actually had a procedure, had it done, not a procedure, but I actually went through everything, and it was absolutely amazing. I had never gone through that type of, I guess you could say, a massage. Is it? Okay.
No, not a massage.
Okay, we'll get into it. Well, that's right. Correct me, Nancy. That's right. It is not a massage, y'all. So let's go ahead and get started. But listen, it was a great experience. I rested well. I think I was snoring on the table too. I think I just had this wonderful experience. And great music, great vibes while sitting there having it done. And it was just absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and get into it. What is reflexology?
Reflexology is a natural, holistic therapy that we use an alternating pressure to stimulate reflexes that are found in the feet, hands, face, and ears. When we stimulate these reflexes, which correspond to different body organs and the 10 body systems, then a state of relaxation is induced. And that's when healing can occur. It's when we reach that relaxed state where things can balance out in our bodies.
Okay, no wonder. That explains me snoring and sleeping very well on that beautiful, you created such a safe space and a very peaceful space there too.
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. Why reflexology? What got you into it? Let me say that. And you, like I said, you don't have to divulge of too much information, but how did this become part of your life, part of your DNA?
I was involved in a fender bender in the 80s and experienced whiplash. And I was went to my doctor and was given muscle relaxants.
Okay.
I had young children, so it didn't work for me to be sleepy and not be able to take care of my children.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A friend suggested chiropractics. And from chiropractics, I was introduced to a whole new world of alternative therapy. So from chiropractics, I had acupuncture, massage, Rolfing. I was just really drawn to alternative therapies.
What is Rolfing? What is that? Could you explain that a little bit?
Rolfing is it's another technique where the muscles are addressed by, and they're certified. They know exactly which muscles to address to release trauma. It also releases the fascia that holds a lot of tension in the body.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that too, because I never heard that. This is so new. All of this is new, but it's been around for a while, right?
Reflexology dates back to, well, not reflexology, but a form of foot therapy has been around since 4000.
Gotcha.
4,000 years. In Egypt, India, and China, it's been documented. Native Americans it's been documented 400 years of their use. And then, of course, in biblical times, foot therapy, because people walked, from place to place. And so the guest was honored. It was a demonstration of love and honor to wash the guest's feet and then to, put oil or ointment on the feet.
I got you.
So
Yeah.
it's been around, but reflexology, it began in the 1700s when reflexes were actually defined.
Okay.
But the reflexology that we're trained in now was born in America.
Okay, understood. What is the training like to become a reflexologist? What is that training like?
I attended an accredited school, Academy of Reflective Wellness in Salisbury. Cynthia Hill was my instructor. She's certified by the American Reflexology Certification Board to teach. It's a 300, more than 300 hours of in-class training.
Oh, wow.
Hands-on practice with other students. We also covered basic anatomy, physiology, and we learned to document medically so we could communicate effectively with medical doctors.
Oh, okay. So this is associated with the medical piece that goes along with reflexology. It's some medical attributes to this.
Well, if a person comes and they need, sometimes insurance or if they have a flexible spending account, the insurance will cover reflexology if the doctor approves that. So our notes, the documentation that we do on clients is very crucial for them to be able to get the insurance that they need.
I got you. So I think you stated it a little bit before. If you would, could you elaborate a little bit more on how reflexology works? Exactly how does it work?
Well,
and maybe I hope I'm saying that right. Maybe I'm not saying it right, but maybe I am. I'm not sure.
I'll give it a shot because our bodies are a mystery.
Understood.
The more I studied reflexology and the phenomenal impact it has, it's truly a miracle that we are alive.
Oh yeah, I got you.
It's a miracle. But reflexologists believe that the human anatomy is reflected or mirrored in the feet and hands, face and ears.
Understood.
And when we use the alternating pressure, then these reflexes send an impulse to the brain, which in turn sends it to that part of the body that we're addressing.
Understood.
So my clients, I create a partnership with my clients. And when you came, I said, it's important that you let me know if you feel any discomfort or any sensation. Some people actually feel energy shift.
Yeah.
And that helps me know what part of the body is getting some help.
Yeah. I definitely I can echo that again and say to you that yes, I did feel that. I think my experience was I could actually feel the vibration of my feet. It actually seemed like it centered me even more so. Even though I was laying down, I just felt a calmness, a peace that even though we say, I'm peaceful and I feel great, but but once you actually have this done, it's absolutely amazing. That's when I really felt peace. And it was really doing the procedure while you were actually doing it. The rest, I can't describe. Actually, I really can't describe it. You just would have to experience it. But I think just laying there, it was just a calmness. But I also could feel the vibrations of my body. It just seemed like everything was just working together, which is a great segue for me to ask you this. What health conditions can reflexology help with?
All kinds.
Oh, wow.
Because it's holistic. So it addresses the mind, body, and spirit. So what you were feeling as I worked on your feet, there's trapped energy, in certain areas of the body.
Yeah.
When that energy is released, that's when you felt the sensations that you got. When all 10 body systems are addressed, that's when that deep, relaxed state occurs,
Yes.
and that's when the body heals.
Wow.
In fact, my favorite quote is by Hippocrates: "Natural forces within us are the true healers of disease." Part of my intention is to get people to that state of relaxation so they can remember, and go back there when they are feeling stressed.
I got you. I got you. So listen, folks, I'm going to put a diagram up real quick. It's a diagram. It's a foot diagram. It's actually a reflexologist diagram. And I don't know if you can you see that? You can see that, can't you, Nancy? You can kind of see that a little bit. Okay, you can. Okay, cool. So this is a small diagram here that we have, and as I'm looking on there, I think it has like different parts that, like the kidneys, the heart, the any parts of your organs. If you would, could you kind of elaborate even more so on that, if you would? Could you go even deeper on how that heals these certain areas, these certain organs in our body? Why are you doing the procedure?
That first of all, that's not the mapping that we use.
Okay. This is something totally different. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But as I said earlier, reflexologists believe that the human anatomy is mapped or mirrored on the plantar, on the foot, on the feet,
Okay,
and the
gotcha.
hands.
Okay.
So from the top, you start at the brain, you work to the, it's divided into 4 areas. So you have the neck area, everything above the neck, and then you have the everything above the diaphragm.
Okay.
And then there's a pelvic region. So all the organs are replicated in those sections.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure if that addresses, but
Yeah,
if you
it does.
take a diagram of the human anatomy,
Okay.
and you map it onto the foot,
Okay.
and that's where the organs are placed.
Okay. Understood.
They're generally placed.
Okay. Let me ask you this question then. Since we had the wrong diagram, can you explain the lines, the lines as it pertains to like the lines in the foot, the lines in the hands, like where the bones align along with the nerves? I don't know if you have any recollection of that at all, but have you ever heard that before? Where people talk about the lines that are in our hands and in our bones? Is there any kind of correlation with that, with reflexology in any kind of way? This is just me asking a general question.
Mm-hmm. We go by more of discolorations, of sensitivities. We go by that, and where they're located on the bones of the feet. I mean, that's how we locate. That's how we communicate with the medical field. I don't read the lines. That's a different.
Well, what I was saying, what I was referring to is the bone structure within the hand. Just following like the patterns of how the bones are. Like if I'm feeling right here, I can feel like certain bones in my hand.
Yes.
So to that point then, to that point.
Well, when Eunice Ingham, she created the map, and I wish we had that.
Yeah,
that map. I thought I had it. I thought I sent that to you.
Okay.
But she actually came up with the mapping.
Okay.
And the way the organs were placed is according to the bones.
Okay.
It just is like GPS, I guess. It just gives specific points for the organs. Yes. And again, every foot is, it's different. It's a different size. So it's really a general placement. Okay. And that's why it's important. We do an overall opening of the feet, so that when we emphasize the different areas that have the sensitivities or trapped energy, then we can specifically give a location for that.
Okay, I totally understand. And we're going to get that map here shortly. That way you can kind of look at it and maybe elaborate even more on it if you would like to. Um, I do have another question. How often should we have reflexology done? How often should we see someone to do that?
I'll leave that up because part of my intention is to help people really listen to their inner guidance. If you have a chronic condition, you want to come more frequently. If I have a friend or a client who comes in for her heart beats rapidly at times,
Okay.
she comes in for maintenance like once a month,
Mm.
and that keeps her from having a procedure done. It depends on the person. If
Okay.
they're in chronic pain or stress, then more frequently is better. I try
Okay.
to leave that up to the person. I want people to really listen to their inner guidance.
Okay, I understand that too. I totally understand that. Let me ask you another question, Nancy. What do you think the hardest part is for folks to accept as it pertains to reflexology? What are some of the fears that you've heard people have before they actually come to the procedure?
The fears?
Yeah, the fears.
I think that what I discovered was that people don't understand what reflexology is. They think it is a foot rub, or they think it's like you called it, a massage.
I did. I know you wanted to say no.
That's right. I cringe when people say that. But so that's the main thing. A lot of people think that their feet are ugly, and the feet are the foundation of our bodies. And
yeah, I understand that.
Another part of my intention is to really help people to honor their feet. And when the feet are hurting, that means something's going on in the body.
Absolutely.
And a very interesting thing is that things show up in the feet before they manifest in the body. And I have a personal experience of that.
Oh, wow.
So I was going to a reflexologist when I worked in a hospital setting, and I was having, I guess, plantar fasciitis. I went to a reflexologist in Asheville, and he said, I'm not going to, get into detail, but he said, do you know that you have this condition? And I said, no. And, I went to him until the plantar fasciitis cleared up.
Yes.
And he moved back to Colorado. And I didn't continue reflexology, but sure enough, in 2016, this condition he was asking me about flared up.
Wow.
And I had to get, treatment and a procedure. So, that was amazing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have that map now. We have the proper thing now. If you would, Jamal, could you put that on the screen? You see this right here? That's the correct one?
That's the one that we use.
I love it. Can you go back over this a little bit more if you don't mind? As best as you can. Just kind of explain to the folks a little bit about what we're looking at right now.
Well, if you think about your body, the foot is the anatomy of the body is replicated in the feet. Mm-hmm. So I know
you can't see it that way.
I know because of my glasses.
It's okay.
But you begin at the top. It's the brain reflexes.
Sure.
And then you go to the neck. The trapezius muscle is like. It's real hard.
No, it's okay.
Not using my hand.
I understand.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get the folks just an idea.
Okay.
So you can just improv this a little bit just based off of your knowledge. I wanted to make sure that we had this up though for you, to give you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. But and as you move down the body, then you have the circulatory, respiratory systems. As you move into the diaphragm area below the diaphragm line,
yes,
you have the abdominal, the intestines, the endocrine system, liver. Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's see. And so you just move down down the body.
Hmm.
And then as you get lower, then you go into the pelvic area, the urinary and reproductive organs.
Okay.
So it's just, top to bottom.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I hope that helps.
No, no, you're fine. No, really, really, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure that we got an idea of, just so we had this up on the screen, I wanted to make sure that folks had an opportunity to actually see this and get a general idea of exactly what they were looking at.
Yeah.
And so I thank you. And this is also not limited to your hands. So what's going to happen is, Jamal, I sent you another image, the correct image of the hands. It's okay. We're live, but still, I want folks to get a real good understanding of kind of what they're looking at and kind of get a gist of what reflexology is, because I think, is this something similar to it, or is this just a hand chart right here that we're looking?
I sent you that too. See, each
I just
chart
sent it
is
to you,
different.
Jamal.
It's okay, but it's the same principle. The hands reflect. You go from top to bottom. Whatever is at the top, it's at the top of your hand. And it goes down.
Yeah.
But there is, divisions in the hand that we go through.
Okay.
So.
I understand. I totally understand. And,
I don't feel like I did a very good job explaining that.
No, but remember, this is really just giving people an idea of what this is. If they want to contact you, they can, and they can get even more of an understanding of what reflexology is. Again, what you're doing is you're just giving them kind of like a small journey of what this is and how they can explain, how you can explain it the best way you can. So it's okay if everything is not perfect, Yeah.
Well, the main thing is for people to know is that reflexologists believe that the anatomy of the body is reflected in the feet and the hands and the face and the ears.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I totally understand that. So this has just been like an amazing conversation. I'm so excited to have you here. I haven't had this conversation whatsoever, and I'm looking forward to having more of these type of conversations with folks, because health and wellness is so very important, and sometimes we take it for granted. We take it for granted, and we don't understand that there's so many different so many ways that you can become better, through healing, through whatever it is. You can just become a better person. As you stated before, you said to me, you said, Chris, it's not a massage. It's not a pedicure. It's not going and getting your feet done. If you would, can you talk about the difference of the two, if you would? The difference between a pedicure and getting actually going to a reflexologist, if you would. And you might have stated, but if you would, can you go even deeper a little bit more, if you don't mind?
Well, any kind of foot therapy, and I'll be the first one to jump at the chance to get additional, help when I go to get a pedicure or a massage.
Yes.
I love it. But again, reflexology is addressing, it's a healing modality, and it's very intentional. And as a certified reflexologist, I'm looking for trapped energy within the body.
Gotcha.
And again, using that alternating pressure that you experienced helps to release the trapped energy.
Okay, so would that be like part of the techniques that you use, basically?
Yes.
Would that be kind of like some of the techniques that you use? Could you talk about some of those techniques?
Well, mainly it's an alternating pressure. We call it thumb walking. We use, our hands. We begin to prepare the foot, to relax the foot, to receive the session.
Yeah.
We do I do range of motion. We do relaxation techniques to relax the foot. And then I begin the session looking for trapped energy and using the thumb walking, the alternating pressure.
Yeah. I think that's amazing. Is reflexology safe during pregnancy at all?
It is. There's certain areas you don't want to address
Mhm.
in later pregnancy, but there is a pregnancy reflexology protocol.
Oh, I
Yeah.
understand that. So that would go pretty much across the board. So I guess in the beginning of the session, you do a assessment too as well.
Yes, I take
Um,
we do a disclaimer because I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose. I don't change medications or anything. And then I do uh, a medical history because it's important to know what prescription drugs are being used. That just gives me clues as to what illness or what you're dealing with.
yes, yes.
And it's also very important to know if you have had any breaks or if you have pins or rods in your body,
Hmm.
and if you've had operations, because usually there's scar tissue, involved in that. So,
Okay.
and all those can be a place for blocked energy and
Mm,
trapped energy.
I understand.
And we don't want to cause any kind of discomfort during the session. So it's very important for the client to feel safe and um, be able to share, personal information. It's all HIPAA.
Mm,
Um, Confidential is stressed
yes, yes,
for
yes.
sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I want to say to you, thank you. And you just recently did something. You just did like you spoke in front of a group not too long ago. Am I right?
I did. I spoke to the Bethany Ladies Society
Yeah,
at the Immaculate Heart of Mary,
yeah.
and yes, they were very loving and generous, and they do a lot of ministries.
Mm,
And part of a benefit of having reflexology is that it keeps the body in balance so that we can experience optimal health.
yeah,
And to be able to minister to others and to serve others, it's our responsibility to maintain as good a health as we can.
yeah.
And reflexology, especially now, we're in a very stressful time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everybody I talk to is dealing with stress of some sort.
Yeah.
And reflexology, I guess my clients that come to me that's the biggest population. They're under a lot of stress.
Yeah, yeah,
Or pain, chronic pain.
yeah,
But
yeah,
having a reflexology session when all 10 body systems are addressed in that relaxed state, they experience that you can go back and remember
mm-hmm,
what it's like to be relaxed. And when
yeah,
you're relaxed, just know that your body is healing.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I thank you so much for your time on today, Nancy. This was very refreshing. And hopefully, we can get some folks to think outside the box a little bit when it comes to their health and wellness and how important and how valuable this is to our society. And with that being said, can you tell the folks how they can get in contact with you? Give them your number and your location and where you're at.
I'm located in the Guilford building at 301 South Elm. I'm in suites 208 and 209. My website is sacredspacereflexology.org. My email is sacredspacereflexology@gmail. And you can text me at 336-279-4133. And could I add something, Chris?
Sure, take your
My
time. Yes.
teacher, I just got this from my teacher, but reflexology is evidence-based. That means that there is research to support the efficacy of reflexology. And I have here is reflexology is 93% effective
Mm,
in uh, in its application to 78 physical and mental conditions.
yeah, yeah,
So there is proof that this works, and it's a phenomenal
yeah.
modality. And I just hope I did it justice by speaking it,
Well, that's
but
okay.
telling you about it. But sometimes you don't know
Yeah.
something unless you experience it.
Yes.
You just can't describe it. You
No,
have to
you can.
experience.
You have to experience it. I totally agree with you on
Mhm.
that. I definitely experienced it, and now I know, and now I'll be coming back to you again.
Great, great. I have my appointment book right here.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So let's fill up that appointment book, get some folks in there so they can have the experience of a lifetime, is what I like to say. It
And
really is.
I guarantee they will leave feeling very relaxed
Yeah,
and rejuvenated. I
absolutely.
promise that.
Absolutely. Now, in closing, this platform was created to help people become a better them as we travel through the clouds of life,
Mhm.
trying to help one another. So, if you would, could you say something in closing, something positive, something to encourage somebody today to help them become better? All right, it's on you.
I guess I'll go back to the quote by Hippocrates.
Hmm.
Natural forces within us are the true healers of disease. And to me, that is just, it's just so hopeful.
Yeah.
That, I mean, think about it. If you cut your finger, we don't tell it how to heal.
Yeah.
And it, like I said, it's a miracle that we're alive. And I would just like for people to be more mindful and take time out to find a time during the day to be peaceful and be at rest,
Yeah.
and be aware if you are stressed out to go back to that peaceful, relaxed state.
I love it. I love you. Thank you so much. And this episode was sponsored by, drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Not the quite right. What? Keep going. Yes, yes. Thank you, Jamal. Thank you, sir. This episode was sponsored by Sacred Space Reflexology. Thank you so much, Nancy
Well,
Grace.
thank you, Chris.
You
I
very,
really appreciate
oh
it.
yes, you're very, very welcome. And listen, if you're looking for your media needs, make sure you reach out to the Mix Network LLC, where their mantra is capturing moments that matter. That's www.mixnetworkllc.com. Listen, I hope something was said to you that can help you become a better you. Well, and thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, your health and wellness is so, so very, very important. Reach out to your local reflexologist. Hopefully, it's Nancy Grace.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
That's right. Here at the Guilford Building. Again, Nancy, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Chris.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. It's totally, totally been an honor to have you on, and a pleasure to serve you, in hopes that we can help folks together.
Yes. we need to stay well.
Yes, we got to stay well.
Stay well.
We got to stay well. So listen, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm Christopher Ross. Make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.